Interesting. We dive into the property market trends in Kenya, and we are looking at where opportunities are, what is shifting, and how you, as a homeowner or investor, can position yourself in 2025. Today, I'm joined by a panelist, and I will let them introduce themselves from my immediate right. Karibu.
Hi viewers, my name is Alan Karani, retail expert. Karibuni.
Hi viewers, my name is Brian Karemi, retail executive. Welcome to the show.
Hello great people, African travel again, content creator. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much for coming. And our viewers, everyone on my panel has had or has a place watching, and just keep listening to new ideas, and just to know where we are headed on into the property industry. So I would ask, if you had 5 million today to invest in real estate, where would you invest?
For me, I think there's a very dynamic housing. I think the pricing is very interesting, and for me, 5 million, I would be able to get like 2 units, which it's a good investment. Different locations, and it's something that really is in.
The universities have a growing student population, and you find that the students can be accommodated within the precincts of most of the universities. So you find there is a growing trend in the country of provision of housing for the students, and most of the units are both bed sitters, 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom, and most of them range from 1 to 5 million.
On my end, I think Kenya right now is open to all the Africans. So I believe there's if you have investment into Airbnb, hotel industry, hospitality industry, you stand to gain this year alone. The growth of tourism, I think it will be in the upwards of about 30% growth. And if you project in the next 5 years, so what I can say is the Airbnb business in Nairobi, if you find a very strategic place, you'll be set for the future. And the two, if I'm allowed, affordable housing, then 2 points. Yes. Yeah. Interesting.
So our viewers, if you had 5 million today, where would you invest in real estate? That's leave your answer in our comments. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. So just type, and we will look at it and read after the show as we close the show. So I want to ask, what do you think is happening, or what is the current trend in real estate? Maybe I'll ask John, because you are a content creator in the property industry. So what do you think is coming up that people should watch out and look out for?
What I can say is there's a huge growth of real estate in the suburbs or satellite towns of Nairobi. That is where the next frontier is. So you have, in the last 5 years, with all the house consult, all these major property companies that evaluate land, the property prices across the country, shows that it's towards Kajiado, you have Kitengela, no longer those side, you have Thika Road, Juja, Kiambu, and significant growth year on year compared to within Nairobi. What I can say.
Basically, I think the apartment market is quite something, because before you used to find, with just near the towns, 10 to 20 kilometers from town, you used to find most of the people used to buy townhouses, South B, South C, Isili, lands, parklands, single dwelling units are getting phased out, and you're getting more of the multi-dwelling units, which are apartments. And the skyline of Nairobi is changing in a big way, because it's not just the residential, but also the commercial properties. You are now finding places like Upper Hill, quite in demand, but also you're finding the ones who are doing most of those commercial buildings, it's also a buyer's market to some extent. So you find you have many more options in terms of finance. The mortgage options are even more. So, and nowadays people are not really keen on single dwelling units because even where they are doing the single dwelling units, they are doing them in gated communities. So that's where the trend has been in the last 10 years. That's what I believe. And I think we are going to continue with that trend because now, as John was saying, as you approach Mlolongo on the Syokimau side, to the right, you find now there were single dwelling units, but now you're having apartments. In Isili, it was the same thing. You used to find, even if you had apartments, there were probably 5 floors, 6 floors, but now you're going as high as 10, 15 floors up, South B, South C, towards Westlands, Parklands. So that's Ruaka as you head towards Limuru Road, Kiambu Road, Intindigwa, Ruiru, Juja. You're finding around the whole town, even as you head towards Ngong and Rongai, the apartment concept is what is taking over. And when it is not apartments, then people are going for the gated communities.
Yes.
I think for me, I would say I'll pick up from where John left. If you look at it now, there's a high demand for Airbnbs. So the apartments that are coming up most of them will find 30 to 40% accommodation is taken by Airbnbs, and mostly you'll find studio apartments, 1-bedroom apartments. So the demand is creating that need. So I think the reason why you see more apartments and smaller apartments is because of that demand for B&Bs. Yeah.
So in your own words, or how you've seen the trend that is going on, do you think the trend is shifting more?
Because of the pricing as well, because when you have smaller units, the pricing will be affordable. When I look at it, I see so that I look at my returns on a long term. So for me, I believe it is owning the apartment.
Yeah, if I can pick up from where Alan left, I think yes. We have very high development in terms of properties, especially high-rise apartments, places like Kilimani. This is more of property acquisition, more rather than letting. But it's a mix of both.
Yeah.
Most of the buyers are buying for investment purposes. Because if I'm able to buy a house worth 10, 15, 20 million, I don't want to be, most people generally don't want to live in a very high dense population area with very high population, and they are mostly using it for investment purposes. So it's a mix of both, but you have the regular, the old, some of the majority of the oldest, when you see apartments coming, is generally for rent. But where you see a big community growing together, plus the affordable housing is more buying.
We also have the trend that is coming up now, especially in those high-rise apartments, of the developers offering the rent-to-own option, where you rent the house, you're paying the way you pay rent on a monthly basis, but at the end of the day, with a deposit that you're probably placed down of about 10%, as fast as they were before, but also probably because of the economic situation at the moment, but it's a buyer's market, and the rent-to-own option is a very good one because you don't have to put all your money down. You can live in the house, you will own it after, it without having to put a lot of
interest rates.
The government has a remortgage. They are now capping. You find for you to be competitive as a bank, you need to cap your mortgage rate. There are some banks even offering at 10, 9. So at 9%, before you used to be at probably the same rate as a bank loan, which was 19, 20. So that was not very favorable because after every 5 years, you're paying double the cost of that unit. But with the rent-to-own option, some which do not even have interest on it, then you find it is easier to rent. You live in the, or even if it is commercial, as John was saying, you're renting it out, but at the end of the day, out of the rent you're earning, you're repaying, you're paying for it. So that has really helped the situation, and it's also expanding the ownership market. Mortgage was 5 years ago was probably covered by only 3% of the. It's quite a low number, even by world standards. Yes.
In this industry, we also discuss this and see what are some of the risks that investors now. How am I confident, or what guides me in even going forward and making that decision?
In as hard as it takes for you to get that sum of money to invest, it to take you through to that point, especially if you're in diaspora, the best is usually to work with a legit company. You'd rather pay a premium, but this is a company that has been delivering for years. So what I can say is the reliability of the company, representative Benny stage, and the last but not least is you, especially if it's an off plan. There's usually a payment process. Stick to it. Give the deposit. Now, Kenya, and you agree, foundation